Good evening, America. I'm Drew Pockshicker, and I'm with 420 News. We are here today with the #1 rising star in America, Mr. Kaotic.
What's going on, yo?
How you doing this evening, Mr. Kaotic?
Feeling good, man. Just trying to avoid the negativity and shit, you know? It's getting tough right now, but, you know, putting everything into this music and getting through it, man. So,
that's what I like to hear, man. Respect, bro.
Thanks.
All right. So, Mr. Kaotic, we all know that you rep Cleveland. Where are you originally from?
From Grand River. Went to school in Painesville City. Fucking live in Willoughby now, about 15 minutes away from Cleveland. Repping Cleveland, Willoughby, Grand River, fucking America. Everybody that really, you know, wants to join in on this movement. Anybody that wants to come along, I'm doing this shit every minute, you know.
What are some of your biggest fears?
Honestly, you know, even as a child, you know, most kids never thought about that, but at 7 years old, you know, I was thinking about, like, dying. You know, I knew that wasn't going to happen anytime soon, but I've always been, you know, sentimental and nostalgic, so death is the #1 fear. You know, I'd probably have to say that incarceration would be the #2 fear, and poverty will be the #3 fear. But as long as I keep on, you know, poverty won't be a fear, hopefully. So
I'm sure a lot of people can relate to all that.
No doubt.
How did you come up with the name Mr. Kaotic?
You know, honestly, I started rapping very young. Worm and I, you know, Jeremy Hunsucker, him and I created a group. It was called The Crew. You know, I heard a lot of Beastie Boys shit, and I'm like, if these white boys can do it, you know, so can I. You know, and it was The Crew. And then met somebody early on. His name's Jason Hibbian, aka Prophet. You know, originally he was a killer clown. Then I named him Twitch. He named me K. You know, and fucking. You know, The Crew really means demented, anarchistic, chaotic rulers of the underground. It's a long story, but, you know, then I'm like, oh, demented, anarchistic, chaotic rulers of the underground. Say that 3 times. But I was like, you know what, I'm going to be Mr. Kaotic, you know, and I thought of that when I was 16. I'm 27 now, and I've kind of just rolled with it, you know. I'm not going to be like all these other rappers changing their name 5 times, you know, changing their style. This didn't work, that didn't work. I'm just being me.
Do you have any brothers or sisters?
Yes, I do, you know. Brianna and Patrick, you know, I'm the oldest, you know, but Brianna, she's a miracle, you know, she doesn't swear, you know, she reads the Bible, you know, she's a great person, you know, and Patrick, you know, not as bad as I was, but, you know, God bless him, you know, like, I love you, homie, I love you, Brianna, you know, that's it, man. Fuck yeah.
Mr. K, the ladies love you, obviously. Is there anybody special in your life right now?
No, there isn't. You know, I'm too busy focusing on this. You know, I'm looking for the right one, but at the same time, I'm not in a rush. You know, because I know that I'll still be like this in a few years. Not to sound narcissistic, because I love y'all. That's it.
Mr. Kaotic, how many girls have you been with?
I've actually been with 1. So, yeah, I'm just, you know, I had sex for the first time, and I've been waiting for the right one, ladies. You know, I've only been with 1.
See, now how many did you have oral fornications with? What would you say is the meaning of life?
You know, honestly, you know, just try to make an impact. You know, do good. You know, and you know, I know this is modern day America, and this might be risque. You know, just take Jesus Christ in as your Savior. You know, I might cuss a lot, but, you know, that's the goal. Just make an impact and, you know, hopefully change the future for the better and pass that message on to the next generation.
Who would you say inspires you the most?
You know, there's a lot of people, you know, there's a lot of people that have done a lot of big things. You know, they're all inspirations. You know, any underdogs, you know, like... And just being like, you know, a white boy from the suburbs with very little resources, you know, people that have done it, you know, just as recently as MGK. You know, he's 21 years old, he just got signed to Bad Boy, man. Like, that's amazing, that's inspiring. You know, the people that inspire me the most, you know, my family, you know, my grandfather Lou, you know, my grandma Margaret, you know, my mother Melissa, my father's not here, but, you know, he still inspires me, and just everything I go through, you know, any wisdom I've taken with me along the way. You know, everything is inspirations, you know. I'm going to put it all out there.
Respect, man. If you could listen to 1 CD the rest of your life, which one would it be?
You know, just like these other questions, you know, you're asking about one, like, there's really not one that I could really, you know, many great records and, you know, music's so great that it'd be impossible, you know, but in terms of hip-hop, you know, right now, you know, Jay-Z, Blueprint 3 was amazing, you know. There's a lot of great ICP albums, you know, like I loved Great Malenko as a kid, you know, fucking Dr. Dre, The Chronic 2001. If you hate Dre, you're not hip-hop, you know, you obviously don't know the history. And just like my name, you should Google that shit too. So, yeah.
Are you working with any other artists right now? Who are you networking with?
You know, there's nobody that I'm not working with. As long as people know what they're doing and they want to get into it, I'm trying to network with as many people as possible. You know, a lot of the main people, just like Worm, you know, number one. You know, I was in a group with him when I was 13 years old. And, you know, Boob J, also, you know, one of the illest white boys that's out in Cleveland right now. You know, we got Keese. You know, young 19-year-old dude, you know, but he's kind of got like a Kid Cudi flow, but he can't be categorized either. You know, I'm going to be putting out his mixtape. Fucking Skyline P, this dude's been on BET a couple times. He's a great rapper and an amazing singer, you know, R&B, and, you know, just everybody. You know, if I forgot you, that's because I'm doing an interview and, you know, but I love you, you know, and give me a call, and I'll be working with you too. So, B. Ross.
You, bro.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You, bro. Appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying? Just get at me with some ideas.
Would you say that cigarettes or drugs or alcohol affect the way your music?
You know, like, a lot of rappers, they like to drink, you know, alcohol in the studio, you know, and I originally started recording drinking alcohol, you know, sometimes before a concert. Last show, I drank two fucking beers before my set. That was it. You know, like, I know that hinders you, you know, and cigarettes, they made my voice a little bit more raspy. You know, I'll hit the high notes, but at the same time, I could sound like Macho Man Randy Savage, like that.
Yeah, so work to your advantage in a way.
Yeah, you know, somewhat, but as I said before, I'm not trying to advocate that type of shit. It's retarded. But.
Now, did you have a good childhood, would you say?
You know, honestly, I could say that I had the best childhood. You know, my grandparents just being raised and, you know, and my mother and my father, you know, I had everything that I ever wanted, you know, and many years I truly wasn't appreciative of this. You know, I was a spoiled little shit, like the rest of so many kids that I see every day. You know, and that kind of shit makes me sick, but I was that, you know. And do I blame the people that raised me? No, I love them so much, and I love them for everything that they've done, and, you know, they just wanted to give me the best, and, you know, finally, I know the value of a dollar bill. I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to lose people, you know, so everything's okay, you know.
Mr. K, tell me about some struggles you had growing up.
You know, going back to the good childhood, there truly hasn't, you know, been that many struggles. You know, there's been people, you know, during early high school that might have, you know, had a problem, but I punched them in the face. You know, and to the kids, I'm not advocating violence, but at the same time,
you gotta do what you gotta
do. You know,
do,
like, they challenged me, and, you know, I'm not going to be, you know, a chotch about it, you know, so I'm going to come back and, you know, let them know, and a lot of those people, you know, I'm good friends with, try to forgive and forget, and, you know, just, that's it, man.
Have you ever been to jail or been in any trouble with the law?
Actually, yes. You know, I'm 27 now, between the ages of, you know, 18, 21. I've been a couple times over some dumb shit that, you know, was also retarded that I really, you know, shouldn't have been doing, you know, like, but I was young, you know, people warned me about it, you know, I'm not going to listen, you know, I'm just going to make the mistake for myself. I made those mistakes, and now I kind of just lay low. So many times they'll just catch me at my spot, just writing songs, you know. Everybody else is out, you know, drinking and driving, getting DUIs, getting into bar fights, but I'm just home here, not getting arrested, you know, just no problems, man.
How do you go about writing some of these songs that you make so many, like a song a day? I mean, how do you do it?
You know, like, you know, I look at a lot of my idols, you know, like Wheezy, Kanye, you know, like a lot of the modern idols, you know, a lot of the older idols too, you know, not to name names, but like, you know, it depends on the beat, it depends on what I'm feeling, whatever mood I'm feeling, you know, whatever vibe I'm getting, you know, sometimes I'll hear a beat and I'll think of a hook, you know, aka a chorus for all my white fans. You know, like, I'll think of that first, and, you know, the hook is what hooks that person into the song, and then beyond that, you come with the lyrics, you know, and that, you know, is what you're feeling, you know, and That's all, man. You just get the people to relate to it, and it all depends. It's on a day-to-day basis. But, there will be songs to convey each and every emotion that I'm feeling right nowadays.
Would you say your state? How would you say your state of mind is right now at the present moment?
It's okay. I'm feeling kind of happy. A little joking, a little bit. Happy people are checking out my YouTube channel. God bless all of y'all. Subscribe. I think my camera girl's falling asleep right now. But I hope everybody out there isn't. I love y'all.
What would you say the greatest song you ever made was?
There's so many that I really love, in terms of uplifting music, like Make It Through, that's incredible. Heaven Only Knows, K Every Day. Go back to some older shit, like my neighbor, she loves Sometimes Life's So Good to Me, all that shit.
Some of the shit.
To My Block beat, Most of you won't hear that song, but, there's so many songs, and I want to continue to, hit people with uplifting shit, and even if it's not uplifting, something that people can relate to and reflect the mood that they're really feeling at that time.
Word. That's what it's all about, man.
Yeah.
Now, do you ask your friends or family about any constructive criticism, and how do you handle this?
I do, but sometimes, I might be a little crazy, a little off the hook, and, sometimes people are like, I'll tell you, but do you really want to hear it? Don't fucking pimp slap me. I'm just playing America. But, nonetheless, I want to hear it. If you have some constructive criticism, just be sure to get at me. You also, you do music, Battle Damage Report, we're all doing music, and, we're all networking with each other and just really trying to make it happen with this thing, whatever genre of music it really is.
Mm-hmm. So where can we find you on the internet, or locate you, or if somebody wants to sign you or put you for a show?
Yeah, you can honestly, obviously, I hope you should know this, but my name is Mr. Kaotic. Just type in MR with the period KAOTIC. Just like that fucking song I made. Just type in Mr. Kaotic. You want to find my YouTube? Type in Mr. Kaotic in Cleveland. You want my first album? Type in Music Every Minute, Mr. Kaotic. Just Google that shit. Image, videos, anything. It's available for free download at datpiff.com. So many different things. So that's where you can find me. Just Google that shit.
What's the purpose of your music, would you say? Or does it have a purpose?
It does, I'm just trying to take you and, everybody with me that's listening, America, Bangladesh, Canada, I don't give a fuck, Saudi Arabia, or wherever, just come with me. I'm making songs that'll just reflect different feelings, depending on what I'm feeling with that beat, what I'm feeling in my life, just anything. It all depends on the day, there's, just constantly new stuff.
Mr. Kaotic, for all the ladies out there, what is the size of your penis?
It's very huge. If you don't believe me, I will show you, but only in private. Okay? I don't want to be out there with that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying?
There's nowhere on the internet we can find
no, there isn't, but hopefully when I get famous, maybe there will be a sex tape that surfaces, because that we live in a country where bad publicity truly benefits you. Anybody that's ever made a sex tape, they're now legends. They might not be people that I would let in my apartment, but hopefully that'll be a mansion. But you know what I'm saying.
There you have it. If you want to get famous, make a sex tape.
Yeah, listen, America.
Listen, America. Mr. K, how many cigarettes do you smoke a day?
Things have gotten rough. I'm not coming up with excuses, but I probably, especially if I'm recording. The other day me and Boop J recorded 4 tracks in 3 hours. I probably smoked an entire pack in those 3 hours. And kids do not start. I started because I wanted to be cool. I wanted to fit in. You know what I'm saying? And, I was so young, impressionable. Right when I started rapping the same year, 13, and I just wanted to be one of the cool kids. And, smoking is not good. You're going to miss out on some of the greatest years on your life if you do. And, but I can't stop.
Do you do any drugs or alcohol recreationally?
When I was younger, I have experimented with a few things, but, just like any American, beer for some reason is socially accepted, but, sorry to be too risque, you know, but this is 2011. You know, marijuana, you know, I don't smoke it every day, you know, like, but at the same time, you know, I don't see that being quite as bad as beer, but I do drink beer too, you know, and I don't see a problem with, you know, weed, and I've done it. Who am I to say that I haven't, you know, but, you know, all that other stuff, it's bad news, and, you know, I've lost a lot of friends to drugs, and it's nothing to, you know, to fuck around about. It's nothing to joke around about, you know, like, so it's probably not best to try these things. Probably just, you know, listen to my stories or fucking Google some other shit.
Yeah, just listen to his music. Fine. Is music something that you've always wanted to do?
I don't know, man. You know, like I was saying with, you know, with that last concert that I went to, man. You know, I was amazed by it, and it was something that I looked up to. It was probably like the coolest thing I, you know, ever seen at that time, and, you know, still it impacts me. You know, somebody can make a song, be it rock, rap, country, you know, heavy metal, you know, and portray whatever mood they're feeling, and everybody can be compelled by that, you know, and that, you know, that's something that drives me, and we're all going to be gone someday, you know, so, you know, look at Elvis, look at Frank Sinatra, you know, hip-hop aside, you know, these people will always be remembered, you know, Bob Marley, you know, I want to be one of the greats, you know, probably never be that good, but, you know, I hope to get as close as I really can, you know.
Mr. Kaotic, you're an amazing musician.
Thank you.
Does music run in your family at all, or?
You know, not necessarily. There really haven't been any, like, musicians in my family or anybody into, like, the rock, you know. We all like music, but I've really been the first person to actually take it and, you know, see where it can take me and try to take it to the next level, you know what I'm saying?
Now, you know, you may be getting famous very shortly. You've
I
already
hope.
established some little bit of recognition around Cleveland area.
Yeah.
Does this fame get to your head at all, or do you keep it real? Like, how do you go about that?
You know, I try to not let it get to my head. You know, I've seen a lot of other people, you know, they've released one album, which I've released one album, and it took me 13 years to even do that. But thanks to the advent of technology, you know, now everybody has this chance. And
Right.
finally, you know, like, I've been able to do that. You know, and I was good on my first album. My new shit's even better. You know, so like there really is no limit to what you can achieve. You know, so it's all right, man.
Yeah, you have a lot of fans. How do you market yourself?
You know, with the advent of technology and really like social networking sites like Facebook, MySpace, Reverb Nation, you know, Twitter, all these different things. You know, anybody that has an internet connection, they can put out a viral video and they could be the coolest thing in America for that day. You know, that's your chance. We can get discovered. You know, anything's possible, man.
It's very true, very true. What would you say would be your favorite song ever?
Probably be impossible to tell what would actually be my favorite song ever, you know.
The top three. Yes.
I can't even do that. Let me tell you this.
All
Alright, we'll go to the 80s, you know, we'll go to some crazy ass 80s that, you know, most of you probably weren't alive to witness, and, you know, just type it into YouTube if you're confused about it, you know. Fucking 80s, we'll start with Take On Me, you know what I'm saying? Fucking, what, Opposites Attract and shit, you know, fucking first grade, I get an MC Hammer tape, you know, then I gangster rap, just so many things, you know, my top 3 songs were all made by me in the last 3 days.
Okay, what were the best songs that you've ever made yourself?
Dude, with the other shit, there's so many, man. I've recorded probably in the last year and a half, maybe 200 songs. Maybe you guys might, maybe you guys might hear it. You know, you'll hear 100 of those songs, but I'm not sharing all of those. I do this because it's something I love. You know, regardless. You know, some of my favorites. You know, in terms of uplifting songs that I've made. You know, Make It Through. That's a great one. Heaven Only Knows. You know, I want people to play that at my funeral. You know what I'm saying? Like.
So, Mr. Kaotic, we all know that you rep Cleveland. Where are you originally from?
I was born in Grand River, you know, repping Paynesville. Went to school in Paynesville. And now I'm living in Willoughby, right by Cleveland, and I'm fucking repping Cleveland. You know, repping everybody, you know, trying to give them, you know, something to fucking, you know, look up to and shit, you know what I'm saying?
Now, Mr. Kaotic, when did you originally get into music?
Dude, it all began with my first concert. I was 5 years old. I was at the fucking American Rib Cook-Off in Cleveland, Ohio. And I seen a Bo Diddley concert. You know, he was a jazz musician that was actually playing there. And fucking, You know, I remembered that I would fucking remember that moment for the rest of my life. You know, as 5 years old, I was nostalgic, and I'm like amazed by the stage and the lights and everything about it. You know, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. You know, didn't know it was going to be rap, but I loved music.
Mm-hmm. Who were some of the artists you looked up to originally?
Oh man. You know, like in the hip hop game, you know, I was influenced a lot by the West Coast. You know, Dr. Dre, you know, Snoop Dogg, you know, Death Row Records and everything they were doing. And, you know, nowadays, you know, I've always been a juggalo, you know, down with ICP, you know, anything Twisted, Cottonmouth Kings, Blazy Dead Homie, any of that shit. You know, but, like, I'm influenced by everything, man.
Great. Now, what was one of the first albums you ever owned?
The first album I ever owned, I was actually, I was 5 years old. I had a record player. Mind you, I was born in 1984. I had a record player, and it was Michael Jackson Thriller. You know, Billie Jean, fucking Thriller, like all the good shit. Like, it all started from there, man.
Mm-hmm. How did you get your start with music?
Shit, man, it started, you know, elementary school. I was probably 8 years old, started playing recorder. By the time I was 9, I started playing clarinet. Started writing poetry at 8 years old also. And, you know, kept playing clarinet. You know, it was alright. I was first chair for many years. And then next thing you know, I kind of quit band, and the same year I started rapping and started having fun, and kind of 13 years old, it paved the way for a lot of things. So.
Mm-hmm. And all this time has paid off, as we can see. Very good.
Thank you.
Great, man. Any closing thoughts?
You know, honestly, I'd just like to say thank you, you know. Thank you to you, B. Ross, you know, as you call yourself, Jupac in the intro. You know, that's fucking awesome. You know what I'm saying? I love you. You know, I love you, Delphina. God bless you for, you know, directing this and, you know, being the camera woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love all of you that like my Facebook. You know, these are the closing thoughts. You know, anybody that's, you know, with me on this movement, God bless you. You know, I'm going to try to do the best I can, and, you know, if shit does pop off, you know, then I'll be taking every single one of you with me. You know, God bless my friends, God bless my family, God bless my fans. You know, I do this for you, and hopefully you can tell your friends, and, you know, we can start networking, and we can start making this happen for everybody. You know, Ohio's about to make a fucking name for itself, if it hasn't already.
That's great, Mr. Kaotic. It's been a pleasure, bro.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. All right.
Back in the game with another rhyme for your motherfucking mother. I'm the shit, I didn't stutter. Going to the top, but I came from the under. Mr. K like every day. Tell me what the fuck you thought. Smoking on the pot so fucking much that I'm an astronaut. Fly to the sky like every time. I'm high like every time that I write a rhyme. Mr. K back in the game. Never gonna quit, this shit's the same. Still that kid insane in the brain. Lyrical shit reflecting pain.